Welcome to the Accountancy Learning AAT Sample Paper Debriefs. I'm Sarah, and in this video I'll take you through the Principles of Costing Sample Paper 2 Task 5. So Task 5 is about calculating costs of products and using tools and techniques to improve the presentation of information. We're told that Fred Co Limited manufacture electric bicycles and are reviewing the cost of sales for its latest product, the Elite. Part A. Complete the calculation of direct costs by selecting from each drop-down list in the table below, ensuring that each item is in the correct order as identified in the manufacturing account. So we are matching it up to the manufacturing account. So first of all then, in our direct costs, we are going to need our opening inventory of raw materials. We're then going to need to know how much raw materials we've bought. So we're then going to want purchases of raw materials. And then we need to know what our closing inventory of raw materials was. And this gives us the materials used. Which will be one part of our direct cost, and then the other part of the direct cost needs to be direct labour. You've been given the following information. So we've now got a lot more information about the manufacturing, the work in progress and the finished goods. So part B is calculate the costs in the table below. Show your answers to the nearest whole pound. Do not use spreadsheet formulas when entering your answers. So we must only put figures in, we mustn't use formulas. We've then got a few other formatting things to do, so we're going to do this step by step. So the direct materials used, so this was what I identified up here as the direct materials used. And the simplest way of working this out is you can add the opening to the purchases and take off the closing, but as we've already got the direct cost, we can take off direct labour to give us 150,000 of direct materials used. Now we need to have a look at the information that we were given up here. So we've got the direct cost of 175,000, and to that, to make our manufacturing cost, we need to add in our manufacturing overheads. So we are going to add the 25,000 manufacturing overheads to give us a manufacturing cost of 200,000. Now for our cost of goods manufactured, we are going to be wanting to look now at our work in progress. So be careful with these lines because they are mixed up a little bit. So we're going to want to add on our opening inventory of work in progress and take off our closing inventory of work in progress. So we're going to want to add 60,500 and take off 69,750, which gives us 190,750 as our cost of goods manufactured. Then for cost of goods sold, we can then look at the finished goods. And this time we will add the opening inventory of finished goods, so 59,250, and we will take off the closing inventory of finished goods of 63,000 to give us a cost of goods sold of 187,000 1000. Now be careful here, because it might be quite tempting just to finish it thinking that you've done all the answers, but we've only done part 1 of this section. Now in the exam, obviously you'll be clicking all the buttons, so I'm going to show you now what buttons you will need to click in order to find the relevant changes, the relevant formatting that the rest of the question is asking. So we need to place a border around the table heading. So we want a border around here. So you're going to select these cells, and then you'll come to this button here and click a border and do the 3-point border. The third part is to format cells B4 to B6 with 1000 separators. So we're going to be looking at these cells here, and to do that you're going to go into the format drop down there to choose your answer. Then we're going to look at cell B6 specifically, and we need to fill it with any colour. So you can then use the colour fill box to fill B6. And then finally we've got cell A1, and you need to change that to size 20, which you will do with this drop down here. So with this question, do make sure you're taking each individual part of the question step by step to make sure that you don't miss out any marks. That brings us to the end of task 5.